Hi, my friends. How are you? I am so glad that you're here with me. Hopefully, whoever you wanted to won on the Super Bowl, or you got your square picked, whatever it was. I hope it was a good night for you. Maybe you just enjoyed the commercials and halftime show. But here we are on Monday again. So today and this week, I wanted to come to you and just talk to you about a group that I started. It's called Keeping Promises. It's a 45-day group kind of program thing. And I started because my why is to help women. I love accountability groups and I also love the products that I'm using. And I love that they can really help people. And I know this because the people in my community have gone through some major changes, as well as myself, right? I have gone through some major changes with these products. And I also love the thought of keeping promises to myself. So I thought, you know what? Let's not just have the women use the products. Let's have them use the products and join this Keeping Promises program that's 45 days long, long enough to really create some habits and really get some beliefs around what could be. And I just love being able to be supportive and a cheerleader and a motivator for them, as well as, someone who shares their stories and someone who shares what I have learned so that maybe that can help them too. So I really love the idea of having this group. And why I think it's really also important is because I know that, like, I know all the things I should do, right? I know the things that help me, that help my body, but doing them can be a totally different story. Have you ever felt like that? Like, yes, I know I should move my body more. I should get more water in. I should get more protein in. I can, work out 3 to 4 times a week. I know all the stuff that would make me feel better. But if I added it all up, it can seem so overwhelming, especially some of the things that are out there, like the restrictive diets and the major, like you have to do something and not just something, but a lot every single day. That can be so overwhelming. And for me, I tend to put that off then, right? Like, oh, I'll just start that on Monday. I'll start that at the beginning of the month. So I don't know if you've ever been there, but that is where I am. So the idea of keeping promises really spoke to me. I've heard the saying before that if I don't keep a promise to myself, why would anybody else think I would keep a promise to them? And I get that. I get that. But honestly, it felt more like I actually keep promises to everyone else. If I say I'm going to be there, I'm there. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. I keep promises literally for everyone else. How come I don't keep promises for myself? Am I not worth it? Because let me tell you, you're worth it. You are totally worth it. I'm worth it. I need to learn that, right? So why don't we keep promises to ourselves? And this program, this 45 days, is really about learning easier ways to keep those promises to ourselves. So we're really digging into our why, right? So we met last week, it was our first time, and we really dug into our whys. I have a list of questions that we kind of went over that night, and then they could dig in more during the week of really finding our motivating factor, the reasons behind the reasons why I want to keep promises to myself, right? And so, like, I might think, I want to lose weight because I want to look better in the camera. But when I dig into that a little bit, it's like because I actually want to be in those experiences with my family. I actually want to be in those pictures with my family. I actually want to be doing things with my family. My, my why might be I want to get more steps in so I feel better about like so I can hit that goal. And then when I dig into the reasons why, it might be, well, because it actually, like, when I try to keep up with people, I find I'm winded. I find I can't do it. I find my legs are sore. I want to be able to walk with other people in my group. I want to be able to go on a hike with my family, whatever it may be, like digging into those whys behind the whys, because that is what will really get you. And maybe this is because, maybe it's not all of you, but maybe it's because the women in my group, we're all kind of like middle aged. I'm about to turn 50. Our whys were all really similar, and they were really about being ready not just for this season, but in our next seasons as well. There was a lot of like wanting to be present, wanting to be healthy, wanting to be able to be ready for our family. We do want to have those adventures. We do want to live life without pain, without restrictions. And we want to be able to keep up with our kids now and our grandkids later. Like, we want to show up. And this is such a huge why for me. I know that in order to create and maintain a life that I want, to meet my why, I need to keep those promises to myself. I also have learned, and this was a learning experience, that I am the only one who can keep promises for myself, right? I can only control me. Therefore, I'm the only one who can keep those promises for myself. I am the one that's responsible, which can be a lot, but it's also a blessing because I don't have to count on anybody else for that. I can only count on myself. And so after the whys and we went through that process, we went on to talk about like feeling overwhelmed, regulating our nervous systems, our habits, because they're all linked together, right? Um, I kind of left some of the group meeting open. And so when they brought in like regulating their nervous system and feeling overwhelmed, I was like, oh, if you guys want to talk about that, let's talk about that more. And that's how I love to run my programs too. Like I have things I know I want to hit, but whatever they're bringing in and curious about, like let's do that too. And that's why I love my programs. It's really like individualized to what they have going on and what their needs are. And the habits kind of lock into this, and the habits are what I want to talk about, anyways. So, when we know our why and that we get to keep those promises to ourselves, the next thing that can pop up is our beliefs, right? And those can be really scary. They might be like, you know, this is too overwhelming. This isn't something that I can do. I am not worth taking the time to do this. And those can basically just stop us in our tracks, right? We can start it and then it feels like too much and then we feel like failure and then we stop. Like it just can stop us in our tracks, those beliefs. So we did do work on belief work as well. Because I am a Reiki master, I love to do Reiki. I love to incorporate it in things. I've definitely researched regulating your nervous system and habits so much, read the books, done the work, took the classes. So I started this process in that session with a visualization, a Reiki session. And we kind of went through a process of finding that belief that was holding us back, finding it in our body, acknowledging it, and thanking it because I know that these beliefs are there because they want to keep us protected. I mean, in reality, those beliefs, even though they aren't good for us, they are there because change is hard for our system, right? It goes back to the flight or fight or fawn, all of those. So that belief was there to protect us. So we just really have to find it. We have to acknowledge it. We have to thank it. And then here's the key, we have to prove it wrong. So where in our life have we proved that belief wrong? And then we have to release it. So that's we went through that process. Then we found a belief that would work for us. What is something that would work for us? Again, where do we feel that in our body? Where have we proved that that belief is true? And then we just gave that belief a lot of love. And this isn't like a cure-all. It is a step, just like everything in this program is. Like it's a step. So you can go back and do this over and over again. We then had a little Reiki session to just create the energy around that belief and within us. And I have it on a podcast. So definitely you guys can do that too. And it's even if it helps by 5%, that's perfect. And the next time those beliefs start coming up, go listen to it again. And maybe it'll cut down by 5% more until you finally get there. But it is definitely something that you can do over and over and over again. Because with everything that we do, right, it takes repetition. It takes practice. It takes doing it more than once. There's no easy fix, right? Unfortunately, no easy fix. So then we really had some conversations about small, attainable steps, right? So we started the program thinking, oh, we're going to do 10,000 steps. We're going to do workouts 4 to 5 days a week. We're going to get X amount of protein in, X amount of water. And when they brought up that conversation of feeling overwhelmed, I'm like, let's rein it back and let's just choose a small step we could work on this week. We don't have to hit all of those goals right away. Like that is something to really like go for and work our way towards, but I don't want them to be in this program and feel overwhelmed. So what's a small step? And so, like, maybe it's hitting 6,000 steps, not 10,000 steps this week. Maybe next week we bump it to seven. Maybe it's getting, a little bit more water in. So I was doing, 40 and now I'm going to do 60. Like, how can we start this really, really small? And then we also talked about two things that I think really, really help kind of pave our way for hitting these small steps that we could do this week. And one was clearing the clutter. So, what if I want to hit those steps? If I want to go to 6,000 steps this week, what can I clear in my schedule, in my life that would help me do that? Would it help if I put it in my calendar? What if I cleared out space in my calendar for that? What if I cleared out space in my car for my sneakers so my sneakers are already there? What if I cleared off my treadmill so I could hop on my treadmill and not be like, oh, I got to put all that stuff away on my treadmill before I can get on it? What can we clear, right? In our physical environment, in maybe just our environment in general, that can make it happen. So we talked about that. And then we really talked about like anchoring in the steps that will help that belief. So whatever belief had come to them, and maybe it was, I believe I can reach 6,000 steps. Of course, this can go on anything. I'm just trying to follow this one to make it more clear, but maybe to anchor that in, I put 6,000 steps on my phone saver. Maybe I put 6,000 steps on my mirror. So while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hit 6,000 steps. Every time I use my phone, I'm like, ooh, 6,000 steps, right? It just keeps popping up and popping up. And I know that I can do it because I'm anchoring this belief. So that's kind of what we did for week one. And it just was, it was nice. The feedback I got was amazing. I was so excited about it all. And next week, we are diving into how to create some habits around those so that we can make it easier and easier, like habit stacking and stuff like that. So, this program is just created out of so much love from me to them. I'm just wanting to help. It's also because while we're doing this, we are using the products, right? They're using the greens, and these ladies have already been using them. So that is really nice. So they already know like how those greens help them every single day feel better. That's what they're reporting to me. Like, I know the greens make me feel better. They make me do better. I know that putting in some of the fizz and the mind health and the tea, like they're making me drink more water because I'm flavoring it and making it fun and doing good. So using these products that I've seen change my community, that have changed me as a person, are changing these ladies, and I'm witnessing it, and it's just amazing. It is just amazing. So, it all kind of leads back to this thought of like, yes, we can keep promises to ourselves, but how, like, let's keep the promises simple. Let's keep them doable. Let's keep them to something that we can progress on, but isn't so overwhelming that we don't do it. Because I want you to feel like you can keep promises to yourself. I want you to feel like it is doable. I don't want you to feel like you let yourself down. I want you to know that you can do this and keep the promises for you. So that's kind of what we're doing. And I thought I'd come in and talk about it because for me, it was just so inspiring. It was so heartfelt. And I absolutely love it. And if this is something interesting to you, let me know because I love doing these programs and they're really they are what our community is all about, which is a huge reason why I love our community because we aren't just pushing products. We are pushing products that actually help. We are pushing community because we love our community and we are pushing all the resources we can. Like right now, this week, if you're listening to this in real time, we're having an online Galentine's Day where I'm also going to do a Reiki session on there. And it's just a way to gather together online and celebrate each other and create this season where we are actually just stepping into our power. I am doing a Valentine's Day at the Whisper Tree. If you're in my area, and you want in, let me know. But it's the same kind of thing. Like we are always giving back. I'm recording this on Super Bowl and we're dropping specials like crazy because we just care so much. We absolutely believe in the products, but we also absolutely believe in you. We believe in you. So that's why we're doing it. And this is what the program's like. And if it sounds interesting to you, give me a shout out. Try this on yourself. You can go back and listen to the almost the exact same thing that I gave them as far as the Reiki session. You can go back to one podcast and listen to that. So anyways, I just wanted to hop on and tell this story about what we got going on because I'm just so passionate about it and I'm passionate about you guys. All right. I love you guys. I will talk to you next week. And remember, you can keep promises to yourself. Love you.